Welcome to the knowledge sharing session of Simple Calculator. So this session has been developed keeping in mind the knowledge of C++. So myself Ashwin. So let's start the session. So prerequisite to develop a simple calculator is the knowledge of object-oriented programming, class, object, data members and member functions. So if you have knowledge of C++, it's more than enough. So then how to use Visual Studio, because we are going to use IDE Visual Studio to develop a simple calculator Windows application. So what are the different types of applications we have? Console application, Windows application, web application, static dynamic library, web services, WPF applications, many such. So these are just a few. Let's see what exactly console application. What we do it in lab, a standard input or standard output we give to the command prompt, that is a console application. So all our programs are developed using console applications. So Windows applications, where it is a standalone or desktop application, just like a calculator, MS Office, browsers like IE, Firefox, Chrome, all these are Windows applications, which runs on the OS in your laptop or desktop. So then we have web applications like Google, Gmail, Wikipedia. So which runs on the browsers, which comes from the web server and which has the URL. We call it as web application. And then we have static library or dynamic library, nothing but your library functions. We use many such library functions built in, like a string cat, math, all these are library functions which is kept in DLLs. Either it is a static DLL or a dynamic DLL. So this is the system using DLLs, Windows DLLs, which has been developed by Microsoft, so which we use it during runtime. So let's start with what exactly we are trying to achieve today. We are going to develop a Windows application. Just this is single form which is having certain text boxes and labels and buttons. So what is our objective? We give 5 and 3. When you press add button, it should provide us 8. So this is a Windows application developed using C#. So developed using C#. So why exactly C#? Simple calculated Windows application can be developed using C++. We can develop using C++ as the Visual Studio 2010, which we are using it at your home or in our college. It has got a limitation of IntelliSense feature which is stopping us to use C++. So or else the code remains same either with C# or C++. So not to bother much about it, which language we are using, the knowledge of object-oriented programming language is more than enough. So if you are using Visual Studio 2005, 2006, 8, C++ we can do it. But if you are using Visual Studio 2010, we'll do it with C#, which has all the features in it. So C++ knowledge is more than enough. No knowledge of C# is required. So don't worry if you don't know C#. Only confidence and self-learning skills is more than enough. Just watch the video, you'll be able to learn a Windows application. So to do that, we have a Visual Studio. So let's create a project, new project. So here we can develop many applications. As we said, we have Windows applications, we have web applications, we have many such applications which we can develop. So we have other languages as well. If you're observing, we have many languages like Visual Basic, Visual C++, Visual F#. So now today we're going to develop using Visual C#. This is very important, and select Windows. So here we are going to select Windows Forms application. So now we'll give a name for this application, that is Simple Add Cal C. So and then say OK. A form is created here. It has got a design view here, which means it's a GUI where we are going to keep our text boxes, buttons and labels. So this is a toolbox which we are going to use. These are the controls which we can use it. Everything is nothing but an object or a class or a data type, whatever we call it as controls here. And we have properties for every control. for all these controls has a properties like size, font, color as such, and even this form is also having many such properties like this. And the text what we are seeing is form 1, we are able to keep it here, and it has got an ID called form1 just like int a is a variable or a identifier. Likewise this form has an identifier called form1. So this is what basically we have it. Now let's start creating as such. So we needed 3 text boxes. We needed 3 labels. Drag and drop it, everything. Then we needed 2 buttons as well. This, we need buttons. And another button for cancel. So this is the basic naming which has been provided. We can rename all these things. Say I'm going to rename this button 1 with add. Then we are going to rename this to cancel. Then all these namings can be changed. Say I'll keep it as A. This will keep it as B. Then we call this as C. So this is what we have designed the GUI. We are yet to write the functionality. So what exactly it means? For every control we have properties. So properties, many such properties, and every control has an identifier name. So this is label 1, this is labeled, this is a form, this is label 2, this is label 3, this is text box 1, text box 2, text box 3, button 1, button 3. Even naming of this identifier can be changed. So now let's see, when we give 5 here and 3 here and press add, it has to add 2 numbers and provide 8. That functionality has to be done when we click the button add. So when we double click, it opens a function to perform our operation. This is just like a member function of class form1. So here we are providing the implementation for it. So what we performed is, this is a click event function. So don't bother much. Let's follow the coding what we give here. So let's see. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to add a. So observe, we have input in text box 1. So the text box 1 we are trying to read. Say it has got a property called text. So that we have taken. Now it is giving an error telling that this is the return type of this function is string, whereas what we are having is integer. So we need to convert it. So to convert it, we have int dot pass. Blindly type all these things, don't bother much about it, it's not that important. So as such, so it performed the conversion. The output of this part is string and we are converting into integer. So the integer value is here. So if we give 5, 5 will be treated as a string. Now it has been converted and kept in integer. So same thing we can do it with D as well. But here we are trying to read text box 2 dot text. So once we are done, we have 2 integers which is having the integer values. Now we'll try to add C. Once we have integer value, now we have to display it in the text box 3. So for which we have to convert again the integer into string type. So that is what we are trying to perform. So we want to keep text box 3 to be updated with the text, that is the property which we are using it. So now C dot toString, it converts exactly into the string data type. So now functionality for the add function click event has been performed. So it is a function, so it has to be a function. So the program is done. Let's run the application. So we have application which is running now. So we are performing 5, we are giving 3, and add button is giving 8. Very nice. So we haven't implemented the functionality for cancel, which we will be able to do it. So let's see how it is done. So we go to design, cancel button. Here we'll type this dot close. It's a function as well. So even that functionality has been done. So click, give and close it. It will close the application. So we have developed a Windows Forms application. So now let's see where exactly this file will be. So go to open folder in Windows Explorer, application. So executable file is available in bin folder, debug, and here we have our application. So this is our main Windows application. Let's run this application. So this is our application. So 5 and 7 gives me 12, and cancel closes the application. This application can be copied and run executed anywhere on any of the .NET framework part. So let me copy that application on my desktop. And execute this application, we'll be able to execute it. So this is a Windows Forms application. This is what we want. 7, 6, add 8, 13. Now let's see some more things about this. So when we are trying to debug, how to debug a Windows Forms application. Say I don't want to perform addition, so I want to change or what are the values during runtime, you would be able to do it. Place a breakpoint in button 1 function, and then you want to execute, debug this application, give 5, then you give 2, then now output has to come. So at that point of time you're clicking add button. What is the functionality happening? You can check that by placing a breakpoint. Now if you're observing text box 1 dot text has 5, text box 2 dot text has 2, we are trying to convert the string into integers. If you are seeing it, if you are doing that, function 10, a value is getting changed to 5. Now b value will also be changed. So a and b has 5 and 2. When we perform addition, even c value will be changed. So c got this, and now let's see what is the value of text box 3. Once we execute, 7 integer will be converted into string. So c has 7. Once we perform, this is conversion from integer to text, and we are storing it to text box 3. So we'll perform this. So once we are done with this, so we have 7. So if you want to check with even close, you can see that when we press a close button, it is calling this function. Now we'll be able to execute it step by step. So we have closed the application. So this is how we do a Windows Forms application. So you can try out another application as such like this. This is a trying part which we can do. So this one you try it out at home, activity 1. So with same thing, only some more functions, some more buttons, go on adding sub button, multiply button, division button. So this will be very easy and interesting as well. So you don't require any C# language knowledge. All you need is C++ knowledge, more than enough. So once you're done with, go with another activity, this one. Just think about it. I'll be discussing this with tomorrow's session. So we have only one text box. We have many buttons. Now we are trying to read through buttons. Earlier application read from the keyboard. Now if we click 1, 2, it should be coming here, and then we have functionalities. So this is what the end of this simple calculator application.
So this application will be